All right, Rixy, take it away because this is your thing.
Well, is it? Is it?
It is. It is your thing. It's your
It's your
thing.
thing, Rixy.
It's your
It's
thing.
my thing.
So we're gonna do the giveaway. No, not the giveaway. The interview.
The
God.
interview.
I can't frickin' speak today. I'll be honest. This is a bit bright because I changed screens for everything, but hey ho.
Your what?
My webcam's a bit too bright because I changed screens for everything.
Like that.
Also, Microsoft Word is.
Yeah, Microsoft is what it is. True.
Word. Microsoft Word, that's annoying me right now.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Why does Microsoft Word not have a dark mode? I need it. I need a dark mode on Microsoft Word.
There's a reason I've printed out my questions.
So you print everything out. I'm so jealous. You have like a binder for your D&D stuff.
I do.
I'm so jealous.
Everything.
I basically have a binder for everything. I'm that kind of person. I have binders for everything.
I've got one binder. It's for uni.
I got like 4 different binders for my education right now because I have 4 different classes. So I have 4 different for that, and when we go to second semester, I'll have 4 new, and so on and so forth.
All these binders.
I have a binder for my D&D. I have a binder for.
It's what the spare room is for in her new house.
Basically, it's just going to be all of my shit packed together into one room.
I'm gonna come visit, and I'm gonna open the door to the spare room, and it's just gonna be full of binders, isn't it?
No. No, maybe. I don't know.
Alright.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Yes.
I think... Hold on a minute, I just gotta make sure. Sharky, have you had adequate time to look at the questions?
I looked at the questions, and I'm like, okay, there's a couple in here that I feel like doesn't really... like the one of them I talked to you about, Abby.
Uh-huh.
But I did look at them. I'm good.
Okay. Alright, Rixy, we're good.
Also, if you do need any form of explanation for any questions or anything, please just say so. I will explain them further.
Shadow is of the belief that,
Yeah, I wouldn't believe it either, Shadow. It's basically going to be binders and books and my sewing machine and just more binders.
That's okay. I've got a whole room for my sewing machine.
Like Rixy,
it's just
imagine...
the sewing machine in the middle of the floor, just like, oh, nothing.
I actually bought 2 desks for that room. One's a drawing desk and one's a sewing desk.
Oh, you just ruined the fun of it.
Yeah, I know.
I imagine just a sewing machine standing there with a single spotlight over it.
I can tell you that the desk for drawing has one thing on it, and that one thing is my Witcher coloring book.
Why does that not surprise me?
It shouldn't surprise anyone, let's be honest.
And no, it's not surprising anyone. No, it isn't.
All
right. First of all, this is a question you don't know, but it's easy to answer.
Okay.
You both have autism, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is correct. Good. Now we can start it off.
That was an easy
First
question.
of all, yeah, easy question. How do you define autism?
Jackie, I'll let you answer first. I feel like I've spoken too much already today.
Well, autism is basically a type of disorder that kind of impairs someone's ability to socially interact with some people. There's a lot of different forms of it. Like some people it affects the way they talk, the way they think, the way they listen. It just in some way it kind of disrupts the way they would normally interact like normal people. Well, I'm not saying like they're weird, but it kind of that's what it is to me. It makes it so like it's hard for them to interact in society. with some of it.
Yeah, I will fully agree with you. One point I would add is that it also affects the way we feel. I'm not saying that we don't feel emotions. I mean physically feel. Like, I went maybe 2 months not realizing my wrist was strained, is the word. So I am wearing a wrist brace, you can see. I went 2 months without realizing that. And then it got to a point where I just couldn't ignore the pain anymore. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I'm now wearing a wrist brace. But, like, some of us don't feel pain, or some of us can have this ability to ignore pain for long periods of time. I don't define it as an illness or a disability or a disease, because I don't find it to be any of those things. I use the word condition a lot. I'm not sure if it's technically correct, but it's what I feel is most correct for me.
It doesn't matter if it's technically correct, as long as you feel that it's the correct thing to say, then I guess it's the right thing to say.
Yeah.
You know? Okay.
Okay.
That was very insightful to know how you define it, because the regular person, define it by what is written on, the internet.
The internet.
Let's not say piece of paper, because a lot of people don't read anymore. They just read what's on the internet.
What's paper?
It's on the internet, it has to be true, right?
No. We'll get to that later.
Atlantis made a really good point here. Spectrum is so broad. I like the phrase that if you meet one individual with autism, you simply met one person with autism. That is absolutely correct. It's different for so many. Again, absolutely correct, Atlanta.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna grant you VIP status because you deserve it, Atlanta.
Definitely, Atlanta deserves that.
And
it's Atlanta. She deserves every kind of status.
There you go. You're a VIP now, Atlanta. Okay.
But it's nice to get a hold on what different people think about, what it is. Also for people that
that are autistic. Or people that don't approve of autism.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you guys feel it is to live with as people with autism? How do you feel living with it?
You want to go first, Abby?
Sure. I want to say the word normal. Because it's something that I've had my whole life. It's something I'm always going to have. There is no cure. There is no magic word to make it go away. It's just something that I have, something that I know I have, and something that I know how to live with. So for me, it's normal. I can't really answer it in more detail than that. I feel bad that I can't answer it in more detail than that. Can you, Shaggy? Can you say anything?
So, for me, like, as you guys know, mine is sound-based. Like, I've also had my autism for all my life, so I don't know how about it. But for me, like, I've had a fairly normal life. I mean, I would have to agree with Abby. Like, I feel perfectly normal with it. I have ways to kind of cope with it. So it doesn't hinder me as much as it used to in the past, because I've learned to work around it, so to speak. It's hard in some ways, but at the same time, it's just part of my life.
Yeah. Because like for you guys, I can understand why it feels normal. Because you haven't tried anything else, really. So you can't really say what.
Are we allowed to try something else? Are we able to try something else?
What am I supposed to do with my hearing?
It's not like, how does it feel to live with a cold? Well, I know how it's not. how it feels to live without it, so now I can know how it feels to live with it.
It sucks. It's the cold. But what's worse is hay fever, because it's like a cold for the entire summer.
Pretty much.
I can't say the same thing about autism.
No,
no. There's no way to quantify autism in relation to a non-autistic person, because I don't know what it's like for a non-autistic person. Like there's this whole thing about how non-autistic people think that autism is, but like Atlanta said, like we've said, it's different for everyone. It is
different.
And of course there's a severity measure as well. So because autism is because autism is different for everyone, some people will find the severity of their autism is higher than other people's. I would say I'm on the mild side of the spectrum.
I would say so as well for me.
Yeah, I would say the same for Sharky. It's some people wouldn't be as mild as us, and they'd be in a more severe situation.
Yeah. So
it might affect them completely differently than it would affect me and Sharky, for example.
Yeah, completely. That keeps us going back to the point that every autistic person, like every, non-autistic person is different.
Very.
We don't always have the same experience with everything like everyone else.
And Atlanta's made a good point here. Says, for me personally, it's been encouraging knowing more adults with autism, and while I know some things will always be a struggle for Sam, you guys give me peace that she can be happy and have a full life, and it's taken away the scary future because it's not talked about as much once you're not a child anymore. Absolutely correct. Like, it's amazing how many people go, hang on a minute, you can't be autistic, you're an adult. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, Sharky?
No.
No? Okay, it's happened to me once, and it's... To be fair, they were a very bigoted person. I won't pull any punches there, but they were surprised that as an adult I was autistic. It's just...
Yeah, it can be more like you're a well-functioning adult.
Yeah. And then there's also the whole...
Like, they're surprised that you're that well-functioning and you have autism because they're ignorant assholes.
Yeah.
You know?
I just want to say that there's this... as a psychologist, there's this whole, load of research about autism. And all they've done in their research is use autistic boys. They don't use autistic girls in their research. And that goes to show how sexist it can be as well. Like, I don't want it to be. I don't want to be negative about it. But a lot of that, I think, is down to the misdiagnosis in girls.
Yeah.
So, I think there's a lot of research there that's missing.
Definitely.
You think with something like autism, they get as many sample sizes as they can because it's how it varies.
Yeah, Atlanta's made a really good point again. It's either not diagnosed, misdiagnosed, or it's been completely ignored.
Oh, completely.
Yeah. And it's just, there's a lot of research that needs to be done in the Department of Psychology for autism. So,
yeah,
that's my 2 cents as a psychologist. I like saying that. Right. As a psychologist.
As a psychologist.
Yeah.
This and this. Yeah. All right. How does it affect you on a day-to-day basis?
I'll let Sharky take this one first.
Alright, so since my autism does affect my hearing, everything involving hearing, like, for me, some of the most important, the sounds that really just drive me crazy, like, is simple stuff like sniffling or like mouse clicking, keyboard typing, just like certain crunchy foods. it can be a struggle to try to avoid it all sometimes, and I've learned to cope with it to some extent, but it still does drive me crazy. So it gets to the point where I have to wear earplugs to help drown out some of the background noises. Even right now, since I'm on a computer with other people, I have to have earplugs in. But like, I have ways, like, if I hear something I really don't like, I tend to just avoid being in the room, or if I'm out in public, I always have to wear earplugs, and I try to avoid crowded areas. But other than that, I function normally like everyone else.
Okay, so for me, on a day-to-day basis, I have a routine. I wake up and my routine begins. So every single day is planned out in advance. So if something changes, that's it. That's my routine is over. World has gone crazy. Meltdown ensues. So every single morning, I will have a bowl of cereal and a cup of juice. If I don't have either of those, I start to go a little bit, oh, today's not going to be great. And again, if I don't have milk in the fridge, I get very anxious because I like my milk. But as Shirky says, I live a normal life. I just have this set routine that I follow from a day-to-day basis. And Mum said something about this as well, because I showed her the questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I hello again, Ran. So yeah, I can't remember what I was saying now.
You were talking about you had showed your questions to your mom.
All right, yeah. Like, I can only do one thing a day.
Yeah.
Which sounds really bad. Like, some days are great and I can do 2 things. But, like, if I'm going to university on, let's say, I go to university on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So if I go to university on a Tuesday, I come home, I cannot go out again. That's it, I'm in. I'm at home, my pajamas are on, I'm not going out again. Right?
I'm going to do the Bruce Almighty and just your clothes like wah! And then the pajamas just wah!
Yes,
and
definitely.
magically appears, and then it's like,
absolutely.
Fuck you,
right.
world.
Right. The same thing at work, but there are some days where I want to go and do that, and I will have this set thing in my mind that I have to go and do, or I want to go and do. Like yesterday after work, I was like, right, I'm going to my mum's. I'm going to go see Mum. I'm going to wish her a happy Mother's Day. And I'm going to stay for dinner. So, I decided to stay for dinner. Mum didn't. and on Wednesdays, I go to my exercise class after... I leave the house at 7:30 to go to my exercise class. Right?
Yeah.
But again, I'm at university on Wednesday. So I have to really steel myself and gird my loins to go out again.
Yeah, it must be very straining to get your head around doing 2 things when one of them is university.
I wouldn't say it's exhausting, but I would say that it puts like this stress on me. It feels like something's weighing down on my head.
Yeah.
It's incredibly uncomfortable if I have to do more than 2 things a day if it's not part of my routine.
Yeah. But you're basically thinking about going out more than once a day, right?
Like yesterday I was at work and I went straight from work to my mum and dad's house.
Yeah.
So technically, I was still out.
Yeah.
But I come home between university and my exercise class on Wednesdays.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You have to get out again.
I have to really, really kick myself up the ass to go out again. Oh, Sam flourishes in a routine too. Oh, she's like me. I feel her pain. Yeah. That's a good point. If you take her out of her normal environment, she's fine. Yeah, same here. So I'm going on holiday on Friday. This is not a usual occurrence for Fridays. Just saying. Right? Not a usual occurrence for Fridays. I'm going on holiday, and I'm going 4 hours up north to Scotland. So I'm going to be in an environment that I don't know. I'm going to be in an environment that I don't recognize. But I'm so damn excited because I'm taking my cameras and I'm going to go out and I'm going to go on walks and I'm going to use Pokemon Go to catch Pokemon. Right? So I'm so excited.
Oh, I better get out and get some gifts for you then, because
please don't.
that's been lacking.
My bag is full. I'm trying to get rid of
Pokemon, damn it! Let's start catching some, damn it, so you can use your ball. Oh wait, no. Never mind. Okay.
Oh,
okay. A little sidetracked.
That was a little bit sidetracked.
We've been a little bit in on this with the other questions, but where do you think that your autism is prominent in your life?
I have one word. University. I'm not joking. My university experience has been... I don't want to put anyone off with autism that is thinking of university, but my university and my experience specifically has been hell, right? Rixy, you know this story. You hear me talk about it quite often.
Oh yeah, I know basically
really
most
sorry.
of the stories.
I'm really sorry, but like from when I entered university to the end of my undergrad, because I'm now in my master's course, that's postgrad. So for the first 3 years of university, exactly, Ren, fuck Rob. For the first 3 years of university, I had a mentor. I still have him, actually. I still have this mentor. He's my mental well-being mentor. Yeah. And he's been there to talk to, and I go see him. For the first 3 years, I went to see him on a weekly basis. Now it's like every 2 weeks or whenever I feel like it.
Whenever you feel like looking at his face, yeah.
Whenever I feel like I want to go in. But but it's been tough because lecturers have done, oh hey, impromptu group work or impromptu presentation work, and it's like, no thank you, I don't want that.
Yeah, it's like, no, please, no.
I was not prepared. This year, right, this year's completely different. I'll be sitting in a lecture and suddenly the lecturer will go, right, you've got a presentation to do, but it's a formative assignment. And I'm like, formative's good. Formative means I don't have to do it. I'm not gonna do it. Right?
Which means I'm not obligated to do it, which means fuck you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I know those. I definitely know those. It's like, it's not obligatory to do it, but it's a good yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. Just stop yourself.
I just want to point out, for the first 3 years, I didn't have any friends at university. Like, I met Shadow at university, but he wasn't in my course. So technically I didn't have a friend on my course with me to sit with me in lectures.
Yeah.
And because of that, I felt demotivated to go. I was struggling with my work. I was struggling to actually go in and sit in a lecture. And there are workshops as well. I don't know if you know what a workshop is, but workshops at university, you go in and you sit in a small class and you are forced to do group work. So I don't go in for workshops. I can't.
No.
I physically am unable to walk into that room and sit down. So I was demotivated to go to lectures as well during the first 3 years. In fact, I think I went to about 3 lectures in total in my second year. And to top that off, no one at university actually realised. No one realised I was skipping all of my classes. And the only thing I did actually go in for on a weekly basis was to see my mentor, Simon.
Yeah.
So no one realised that I wasn't there. This year is very different. People realise I'm not there. I've got a really good dissertation supervisor who speaks to me when I'm missing classes.
Yeah, when it's needed that you
when it's needed.
Yeah.
And she's actually really good. She's actually the course director. So when I hadn't spoken to her for a long time, and then I went to see her last week, I was super scared. I was like, she's gonna shout at me, she's gonna chew me out. She didn't say a word. She was absolutely amazing. And I've actually got friends this year as well, so shout out to them. They're amazing. I love them girls. They're really helpful. They're actually helpful with work as well, and one of them's really good at the math stuff. So every time we've got math stuff to do, I'm like, hey, I need your help. And she's like, yeah, cool. Here you go. So university has been absolutely awful for me. And once again, I don't want to put anyone off going to university with autism. Do it. I'm sure you will have a better experience than I did, because I think I made it worse on myself because of the mental state I was in.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Don't take my experiences as gospel.
No, this is also like your experience with your autism and your life. Theirs will be completely different.
Definitely.
Because they have a different kind of autism. They have a different kind of life and upbringing. So they will not have the same experience and same, story
to
tell.
And they might be able to actually move away from home if they're feeling that brave, And yeah, my course was especially bad because it was a psych course, which is ironic.
Yeah. Very ironic, yeah.
It's so ironic. Yeah, that's my 2 cents on that question. So if
but I do think that autism or not, it also depends on how ready you are for such things.
Yeah,
in general.
I think I've been ready university during my time at university. I think it was the right time for me. Once again, don't take my experience as gospel. You will have your own experiences, you will have your own troubles, your own doubts, and you will definitely have a better time, and you'll come out of it a more learned person. I hope, because I haven't. Yeah, I feel like I got stupider at uni, I'm not gonna lie.
It's so bad, I got even more.
Yeah. Shaki, you've been ever so patient whilst I spoke, I'm sorry.
It's not a big deal. For me, it's definitely more out towards the public. Like, I can be in my house perfectly fine. Like, I can deal with everything in my house, but like whenever I go out in public, I have to wear earplugs. Like, I'm always like on edge, like looking out for like big groups, trying to avoid them and stuff. Thankfully, I live in a smallish like little city, so like I can avoid like huge crowds. Like, I can go outside my house and like my street's completely empty, so I can go around the neighborhood and everything perfectly fine. Back when I was younger and I was in school, it was very hard because I didn't have an option. Like, I was trapped in the classroom with 20-ish other students, all learning and stuff. Like, I had to be there. And obviously school is during like this cold season, people get colds and stuff. I had to deal with all the sniffling, like I had to deal with all the cafeteria noise. It was very stressful for me. And especially early on, like in middle school, like back when like all the kids are kind of oblivious to the fact like that's where like a lot of bullying and stuff happens. Like I can remember specific cases where like some students would just look at me and they have like a little smile on their face and they'd just sniffle or do something intentionally to rile me up a little bit. It got to the point where like I told my mom about it, and she talked to the school, and I had to leave classes like a couple minutes early so I could avoid all of that confrontation. Thankfully, when I got to high school, people started to realize like, hey, he's part of like he belongs to the school, and I belong there, and they were more understanding to me, and it thankfully stopped. I don't remember anyone intentionally going all the way to make me uncomfortable, which was good, but it was definitely still a struggle to have to deal with it on a day-to-day basis. But I did get through it somehow. I did graduate it, but it's definitely a struggle whenever I have to go out and be in an area for a long period of time where I can't like leave the room or just walk away from like all the sounds that make me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, school is horrible. So, what age is middle school? Because I don't know. We don't call it middle school. We have primary school, we have secondary school, and then you're off to college.
Middle school was around. It's like for my high school. My school, because I kind of connected. Middle school is 6th grade through 8th grade. 5th grade to 8th grade.
What age is that?
I believe that's. I think that's like 12ish to 15. Off the top of my head.
So that'll be year 8 to year 11 for us.
Sorry.
That's alright. Yeah.
I'm the wrong person to ask because we live in a different country, so it's called something completely different.
Sorry, I didn't think about that.
I'm not the right one to ask.
I didn't think about that. I'm sorry, guys.
It's fine. It's fine.
That's fine. I'm just reading what Atlanta says.
It also shows how different we are on so many levels.
Yeah, Sam likes kids who are a lot younger than her because she's being bullied by kids her age or more and older. See, when I was little, I got along better with older people.
Yeah.
So I got along better with like my parents, my grandparents. I say my grandparents as like Nan and Palm. I didn't get on with Gladys and George. And I didn't get on with anyone else. I was a lonely child. Wow. Let's put it in perspective. But yeah, it's something that you learn over time, I think. Turkey? With me there? Like, yeah, it's socializing is something that we have to learn. So when kids our own age pick up on the fact that we're not at the same level of socializing as they are, they see that as a weakness, and you know, that's it, that's their way in. They kind of like poke at it and prod at it, and at that point, for me, it made it worse. Like, I think I took 3 steps back before I took a step forward in socializing.
Yeah.
Like, there were family members that I would not talk to at all. I would just non-verbal.
But again, bullying, both school and personal, like family and friends wise, has become a lot worse the last couple of years, actually. Because it's become way easier to bully for anything, really.
It's become easier to bully anyone for any reason.
Yeah. It's become easier to bully anyone for any reason. And that's made it easier, both like colleagues, school, family, friends. It's become easier for them to just, target someone because, I thought it was funny, but, to that person it might not be funny.
It's not funny. Like, I have a rule. I hate every person, so I'm not, I'm not there.
Yeah, I'm like, I hate everyone until they prove me wrong.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a couple of people that I don't hate, and then the rest is garbage.
Is one of those people me?
Yes, of course.
Yay!
I can say now that everyone that is in our chats and in Discord right now is non-hated.
Not hated.
Just,
guys, you're not hated.
You're not hated, everyone.
Shadow asks if you hate him.
A little bit. No.
Anyway, Abby?
I love you, Foo,
Yeah?
but you're annoying sometimes.
Yes, Shaki?
I did see Lauren did have a question above.
Oh.
She said in primary and high school we had IEPs for personalized schooling, and I imagine it's completely different once you hit college. Like, they really don't care or take into account that you might learn differently.
Okay, I have a
Would
counter
you
question.
Would you think online classes would be more or less helpful for someone on the spectrum?
I'm gonna scroll up and I'm gonna. Okay,
See, I can give a little bit of regular info being on online classes.
I'm guessing an IEP is the mentor or tutor.
Hi, Donk.
In primary school for me, I didn't have any help. At that point, I was not diagnosed. I wasn't diagnosed with autism until I was halfway through secondary school. So I was 16 when I was diagnosed. That's not halfway through. That's at the end. Yeah, at the end of secondary school.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so old. I can't even remember. But
oh, shut up! You're not old.
I
think I'm the oldest one of us three. So shush.
I'm pretty sure that I'm the youngest.
Yeah, you are.
So when I was diagnosed, I still hadn't had any help all my way through school. I hit sixth form, and I actually quit sixth form. After the first year, it's 2 years. So if you don't know what sixth form is, it's 2 extra years on top of your original 5 years of secondary school. So it's the 2 extra years.
Okay.
I actually quit after the first year because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that level of education. I wasn't ready for anything at that point. I just finished school and I kind of wasn't at that level.
Yeah.
So my work suffered, and my work suffered an awful lot. So I quit and I went to my first college. I quit that after the first year because I still wasn't ready, and they stressed me out to the point where they lost my entire year's work, and they asked for it all again 2 weeks before the end of the year, after my hard drive failed and I lost it all myself. So,
oh no.
So I was
that sounds horrible.
I was like, well, I ain't repeating this. I'm gonna just leave. So
that sounds absolutely horrible.
I actually went blind from stress. That's no joke. I couldn't see anything for about 3 days.
Jeez.
So I took
That's
myself...
how you know you've overexerted yourself.
It is.
Yay!
I've never been that stressed since. So, you know, I stopped that. I took a year out. to do work. So I worked for a year. Or it was actually half a year. I couldn't find a job for the first half. And then I entered my second college, which is a 1-year course. It was intensive, and it's called I can't remember what it was called, but it was basically a fast track to university, right? So I did that course, and I was super focused all the way through. I got really good marks, and then at the end of that I entered uni. So up until university, I didn't actually have any personal tutors or mentors at any education facility that I was at. I can tell you that when I was diagnosed with autism, I did go to an extra program elsewhere in the city for not just autistic people. There were kids there with there was one kid with Down syndrome, one kid with extreme OCD, one kid with ADHD, one kid with ADD. it was a mix of us, right?
Yeah, like a special.
Yeah, and I went to that for like the last couple of years of secondary school. That's where I learned how to meditate. So, you know, I took that skill of meditation all the way through up until this point now. So I still meditate today. So I was given that skill, and that's how I use that skill.
Yeah.
I didn't have any help or mentors until university. But from the end of secondary school, I was given this tool of meditation.
Yeah.
So when you enter university, it is slightly different. I don't know if you have anything similar in the US or in Denmark, but here, I applied for a disabled students allowance, which is a little bit of extra money to help with costs towards anything.
That's actually what I'm waiting answer for right now.
Yeah, and it helps with everything really, but you don't have to.
Yeah, it basically have to help you economy-wise for need a job or something like that while you're reading. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for answer for right now, but they are very slow to take their finger and take a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have it over here.
Yeah, and because I signed up for that, and because I contacted the university early, I was like, oh hey, yeah, there's this mentor thing that you can do. Your mentor is going to be Simon. Here. And it's like, oh, thanks.
Great.
Great. I don't get a choice in mentor. Yay. But it turns out he's chill, so. Yeah. Yeah. So up until that point, I didn't actually have any help. But it's completely different in the US, I think. Not sure.
I will say, getting back to the original question about online classes, because Lauren did ask about that. For me, personally, living with autism, how it greatly affected my school life because of my hearing, I will say there was a time I thought about online classes, so I didn't have to deal with that. And I personally am thankful I didn't, because at this point in my life, because I'm not working or anything, I don't really leave my house too often. So like, I have some amazing friends I made through school, and I still talk to them to this day. And if I did do online school, I wouldn't have people like that. And in my I had some teachers who were very understanding that I was able to talk to and stuff through schooling. That I feel like if I didn't go through like public school, I would be very different than what I am today. And I am thankful that I did, because it did help me learn to socialize better with people. So I will say, if you can, definitely go through public schooling. It varies very much about what your certain condition is. But if you can, I know it's a struggle, I would highly recommend going through public schooling. You need, with autism, like, the more socialization you can get to help cope with your condition, the better.
Definitely. Yeah, I'll agree with everything you just said. Yeah. Was that like question
I hope that helped you,
4?
Lauren.
How many questions do we have?
We have a lot of
keep
questions.
going on tangents.
We do.
All I can say about regular, online classes for a little bit higher education than, college and stuff, it's going to be stressful. That's really all I can say. If you don't need to be social, it's fine. But when you have to rely on groups and such, it's going to be stressful. It really is.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm going to add to it, because I can't say much about, doing it with autism, because I don't have autism. But as from a non-autistic person, I can say it is stressful as fuck. It is,
yeah, I think we can all agree that school and education has been nothing but stress.
It's really just a lifelong education on how to deal with stress. It's nothing else.
To be fair, I like the motto, every day is a learning day. You learn something new every day. Even if you don't realize it. So
you learn how to cope with stress every day because you'll survive.
You
like,
learn
that's cool.
You learn where that line is in your mind every single day. So yeah, it's very useful. Especially considering I didn't really speak to many people at school, or college, or university.
No, but I think it would be good, you know, to, if you needed, to have the experience of socializing. I think it would be good to do regular education and not net-based. But if you have like huge trouble socializing and just can't do it, or you know, then I think it would be fine. But then again, it also depends on what kind of education it's about.
There are also, I'm just going to drop this little bomb. In the UK, the National Autistic Society started setting up, I think it's their 3rd or 4th one in the country. It's a special school for autistic people.
Yeah,
autistic children, I should specify. So if you can't get your autistic child to a class in a public school, there is another option that isn't just homeschooling. So check it out wherever you are, because you could all be around the world, different places. So yeah, go check that out.
Your local supportive group might have some, help.
Some information for you, yeah.
Yeah.
So go check that out, research it for yourselves, and honestly, do research. Cannot stress that enough.
All it takes is a little bit of a Google search. That's all, folks.
Google
is your friend here.
Best friend.
It's really all I can say. Google is your friend here. Do your research and take action if it's needed, really.
Definitely.
Your local supportive group might have some information or help that could help you, or, your child, or someone that is dealing with it. Just make a difference. Yeah. Do your research. Okay.
Alright, I just wanna, before you move on to the next question, very quickly, you all have 6 minutes remaining on the giveaway.
6 minutes, guys!
6 minutes.
Right. Detour. Love it. What do you believe is the most important thing for other people to know about autism?
I'll let Sharky go first.
The most important thing for me is just how vastly it varies. Like, it's so different for every single person. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, for all you know, the people you're talking to, they could have it and they just haven't told you because of how different it is for everyone. Like, for me, all of you guys wouldn't know about it if I didn't tell you, because mine's hearing based, and for the most part, if I put my earplugs on, I can hold a conversation with you guys perfectly fine.
Yeah.
A lot of people could just be scared or nervous to even talk about it to anyone, and they could just be hiding it. That's how vastly it varies. Like, people could have it and they don't want to talk about it, and there's still a lot of learning and stuff people need to do, and there needs to be a point where it's like it's okay to come up and talk about it, and it doesn't have to be like a weird conversation. Like, I get nervous when I'm talking to new people, and it comes up like whenever I talk to when I first began talking to you guys and we started talking about voice calls and stuff. Like, it's like, oh boy, I'm gonna have to tell them about the stuff. I have to tell them like which certain noises bother me, and I don't like trying to restrict you guys because I don't want you guys to do anything different than what you normally do. But at the same time, I really can't deal with like eating and stuff in calls and stuff, as you guys know. we had that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nerve-wracking to me because I don't know how you guys would react to it. And thankfully, all you guys were very understanding. But it is like a huge weight on my mind every single time I meet someone new and like they want to talk to each other online or in person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just how vastly it varies. Like, again, if I didn't say anything, you guys would probably never even know I had it.
Yes.
So basically, the best thing to know is, take in the fact that it's different for everyone, and you might not realize that it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like I can very easily hide it as well. Like the biggest thing for me in person is eye contact. I can't look at your face, basically. So when I'm at work, I do get the odd customer, and it is the odd customer, and they will kind of try and move into my eye line. It's like, dude, be respectful. Don't do that. It is definitely not the same for all of us. And going off what Sharky said about being scared to admit it to a new person. Bye, Ren.
Bye, Ren.
Being scared to admit it to a new person. When I first got my current job, I didn't say it. I didn't admit it to anyone.
Yeah.
And after a little while, the manager that hired me went to a different store, and they brought in a new manager. And
yeah,
right,
yeah.
this is the good manager, the manager that I have a really good time with.
Yeah, yeah.
And I kind of grabbed him one day when he came in. It was the first time I met him, and I needed him to know. I needed him to know that there were some things that I just wasn't capable of doing, and that there are some things that I wasn't at that time currently able to do, but now I am more confident with being able to do. And that I needed the time to learn it, and I needed the time to adjust to it. And I went and I spoke to him, and I was like, dude, I've got to let you know I'm autistic. And he was like, okay, so what things can you do? What things do I need to be aware of? And I told him 2 things specifically. I said, I can't make eye contact with anyone. It's not personal. And I can't answer the phone at work. And I have pushed past that barrier. I can now answer the phone. I hate doing it because the phone quality is absolutely shit. Right? I'm not lying. The quality is so bad, I can barely tell what another person is saying on the other end. And a lot of the time, on the other end, it's someone with a really, really thick accent. So I can't understand anything. It's like, okay, I have to pass this on to someone else.
Okay, someone else take this because I don't know.
Yeah, so I can actually answer the phone now. But when he first started, I just wouldn't answer the phone. And he was actually really good about it, He doesn't do anything that he knows that he shouldn't do. He's a really good boss.
Abby.
Yeah?
I will say, I can kind of relate to you on that. Like, for me, I cannot look at anyone who's like chewing gum, because that's also another thing that really irritates me, just gum chewing. Because just the fact of me being able to say it drives me crazy. But yeah, that I can kind of relate to you on that one. Anyway, I'll be right back 1 second.
Okay, guys, I've restarted the giveaway for Tricky Towers because no one entered in the last one. If no one enters in this one, I'll change the prize to the second one. The second prize is Civ 6. It's not a game I've played. I know it's a game that a lot of people enjoy. So, yeah.
Civ 6 got a lot of credit, didn't it?
I believe so, yeah. I'm not a fan of Civ, so that's why I'm giving it away.
I haven't been. I haven't, played Civilization since Elvis was a. you know, of
Yeah.
freaking. So, like, and Dalai Lama would bomb the shit out of you. So, you know, I haven't played Civilization since. It really scarred me for life when I was in. Like, Elvis is telling me to do shit, and Dalai Lama is bombing me. Help! I did something wrong. I don't know, but you know.
I definitely like the Civ games. Like, I remember when I was younger, like, I'd play like games like Age of Empires and stuff with my older brother, and just like we'd compete to like destroy each other's civilization. It was a lot of fun.
Gandhi the warmonger.
I remember playing more Red Alert than actually playing Civilization.
Do you know what game?
Red Alert.
Do you know what game I played? Do you know what
Spyro?
game I played? Sims.
Oh yeah, Sims. Yeah, I played that too.
I've not played anything like Civ.
I've played a lot of games. Even when I was a kid, I was like constantly on a console or something. So it's like there wasn't a time in my life I wasn't a dork. So, I've always been.
Alright, so next question.
Next question!
Oh, she's not interested in Sims 4? Oh, bless. Yeah, next question, Rixy.
What is the most stereotypical thing you hear when you mention to people that you have autism? And go!
You don't look autistic!
What do you expect them to look like? Quasimodo? For fuck's sake.
That's exactly what I say. Like, I've got that video with stereotypes coming out. It's not finished yet. I was supposed to have it finished by today, but I burnt myself out on it, so I've not finished yet.
It's coming, guys. It's coming.
It's coming. It's coming. I promise. It will be out before I go on holiday. I absolutely promise you that. It's the most stereotypical thing I hear is you don't look autistic. It's like, or
what is an autistic person supposed to look like?
What are we supposed to look like?
Do you expect someone to have like a neon sign with an arrow pointing down, autistic person right here? Like, what do you expect? They look like normal human beings. Stop!
We are normal human beings. Even if we don't feel like it sometimes.
Except you a small bean.
I'm not a small bean.
You're a small bean.
I'm a tall bean.
You're a cute small bean. Stop.
I'm not a small bean.
You're a cute small bean.
Okay, we're detracted from the point. Shaki, what was your answer?
I'd say like some people find it hard to believe at first because I do seem fairly normal like everyone else, unless I mentioned my hearing or the fact that some people would see like earplugs in. Like, I obviously don't talk about it much in public unless I have to, but it's something that some people question at first. Like, they had to actually like sometimes look to the side and like, oh, he does have earplugs, huh? But I don't think I've heard like people say like you don't look like you have autism or something like that. Like, again, the people I've talked to is very understanding and stuff like that, and I don't think I've heard anything too crazy or abnormal.
Guys, sorry, Shaki, I don't want to interrupt.
Oh, that's fine. I was pretty much done anyway.
I
don't think you should pay much attention to that guy.
Yeah.
Because tape face is basically mute.
Okay, I don't know what the challenge
He's
is.
not an actual mute, but he's acting mute, like he doesn't say anything.
Okay.
I know who tape face is, and it's just not something you should say in some random person's stream.
Okay.
So I don't think you should take much into it.
Okay. Well,
this is basically someone that wants to follow you for doing something stupid.
And it's not part of the stream. That's not something.
And that's not part of what's going on. So
no. Okay, Shadow. Shadow, you're my super mod. That's what we'll type. Yeah. Shadow, you're super mods. Do as you deem fit, boy.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Shadow. You are greatly appreciated, mod. Okay, so wait, was that the end of that question?
Being done?
Yeah, with that being done.
So basically, like, the most stereotypical things is you don't seem or, look autistic. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Like, there's no look to autism. There's no... You can't just...
Generally, there's no look to a mental health state.
No, there isn't. You can't point at someone and go, that person's autistic. You can't.
No, you can't go onto something and onto someone like, you have autism, you have depression, you have that, you have that. You can't do that.
Statistically speaking, if you point at someone and say that person is autistic, you have a 1 in 100 chance of being right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's stupid to think that we look a certain way, because we don't.
No.
Mm-mm.
It's not the same as, let's say, Down syndrome. That has a specific look to it because it's a gene.
Yeah, there is. Is it a gene deficiency or is it a gene extra? It's a extra chromosome, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a but it's still a deficiency in the gene.
Yeah.
Because it's out of the normal.
Yeah.
Like, that has a specific look to it.
Yeah, exactly. Atlantis just made a really good point. Like, people hear terms, they think of the extreme cases.
Yeah, the only thing that gets attention on social
is extreme. Like, if it's
not extreme, the extreme cases.
If it's not extreme, it's not worth talking about. It's not worth looking at, I feel.
Mental health state has, in general, been a big taboo to talk about. And, with the whole vaccines and autism, let's come into that later, has been blown up. It has been like, okay, then, let's pick on something that we don't know about and just keep on doing it that way. And it has been like that with, anxiety, depression, ADHD, basically everything that has been in the news for some odd reason, it has been picked on. Yeah. And it's just, it's not okay because it's not real and it's not true, and it's making gullible and naive people think that what they're saying is true, and it's not. Yeah.
I read something last night about not autism specifically, depression. And it's family and friends don't realize how bad it is until they are planning your funeral. Right? And that kind of hits home the point that you don't know.
Oh, I can definitely tell you that. I can definitely tell you that as a person with depression. I can tell you that family and friends have...
No, they don't.
No clue.
No.
Because when I visit family and such, they don't know that I'm internally struggling with just keeping a smile on my face.
Yeah.
Or just getting up. Yeah. They don't know that. And they just expect that I'm just, lazy or tired or don't give a shit. And it's like, no, it's not that I don't give a shit. I give a lot of shits, but,
It's at that point you just want to go to them and go, I give too many shits.
It's like, you don't know how much it's a struggle to just, breathe.
Yeah, exactly.
And they don't know how it is until they're actually standing there almost planning your funeral.
Yeah.
So I can definitely agree to that point, that people don't know how bad or how it is until they're actually being, I won't say physically affected by it, but emotionally extremely affected by it. So they won't know it. And it's the same thing with every other mental health state. Like, friends, family, and such won't know how you're feeling unless, basically in a casket,
Yeah.
So it's about being understanding.
Yeah.
And no one's saying you should, put yourself in their shoes, feel how they're feeling. No, stop it. No. That's not what anyone wants. that's the last thing anyone wants, because that's just, that adds to people's burdens.
Yeah.
So it's like, just be understanding and respectful that it's not as easy for some person as it is for them.
Precisely.
So...
Precisely. Yeah. I don't think you can expand on that point anymore.
No, it's not something you can't explain that any more than you would be, explaining yourself over and over again with the same thing. So yeah. Basically, people won't know it until they, actually accept it is there and respect that it is there. Yeah. Brand of the day. That was my brand of the day.
Brand of the day. Yay.
Okay. What are you guys' so-called focus points?
Okay,
like your interests and...
I know that Shaki has a little uncertainty surrounding this question. So I'm gonna let him get around the uncertainty first before we answer. That's okay?
Yeah, sure.
Hi, Mom!
Abby's mom, hi!
Everyone say hi to Mom!
Hi, Abba Mom! It's so nice to see you here.
It really is, Mom. Caught us in the middle of the interview.
In the middle!
Shouldn't you be at work? Shadow's breaking up the roof.
No. I think Abba Mom knows too much about me for me to start being.
Abba Mom knows too much about me to be worried.
Abba Mom knows too much about me to even start being on best behavior, so... She knows too much.
Can we all just be proud of Mom for doing the little arrow and the slash to say hello as well? Because I taught her that yesterday.
Yay.
Aww.
Back to the question.
Back to the question, Rixy.
So yeah, when I was looking at the questions last night, I saw that I was very confused. Like, what exactly did you mean when you put focus points? Like, I was.
I wrote focus points because I think it would be not mean, but a little bit disrespectful to call it special interest. For example, there's some autistic people that I know that has a lot of interest for one specific area, that know everything about that one specific area with no end to that knowledge.
Okay, I'll answer first. Personally, I don't think I had anything that really correlates to me. Like, but I do know, like, my mom, one of her best friends, she has an autistic son. His name's Mikey. His is where, like, he can't really talk properly. Like, he always speaks in like kind of way, like a shaky manner.
Yeah.
And he can't really talk in full conversation. But he absolutely loves cars. Like, we could point to a car like, hey Mikey, what's that? And like, he would tell you the exact brand of that car, and he loves them. Like, he has Hot Wheels and all that. He's about a couple years younger than me. He actually graduated a year ago, and we're proud of him. But yeah, he just absolutely loves cars. Like, that's like something that we love to do because of how much he loves them. Like, we just point to a random car and he'd like say Chevy or like Toyota, stuff like that. He can do that to like almost every single car that we just point at. But for me specifically, I don't think I have anything like that.
Okay, I'm just sat here with the biggest grin on my face because that reminds me of my big brother Tom. So I'm pretty sure Mom will attest to this, but when he was like young, I mean too young for me to be around, he would he would just name cars that they walk past on the street. That was from a very young age. That was like from age 2. I don't think my brother's autistic. But that's just a little cute fact that you made me think of. So my special interest, I would say, is The Witcher. I'm sat here wearing my Witcher hoodie, and and I've got like a display that's full of Witcher stuff. So yeah, I can talk endlessly about how much I hate Yennefer and why Triss is the best. So thank you, Mum. She says good luck with the fundraising.
Thank you.
So yeah, I could talk anyone's ear off about The Witcher. I just don't, because people get sick of it after a while. So yeah. That was a short question. There's no tangent here.
Well, a bit, yeah.
They don't all need to be super long.
Like, my husband has Asperger's syndrome, which is a little bit related.
It is part of the spectrum. It is part of the spectrum.
He has autism syndrome, and for example, his internal GPS, I will never be able to figure out. He can drive a road one time, and he can remember it for a lifetime.
Wow, I wish I had that ability.
His internal GPS is amazing. Quite literally, it's like, I call him up like, honey, where do I need to go? And he's like, oh, you just need to go there and there and there, but you don't know where I am. No, but I know when you left, so I basically know where you are.
Jeez.
Okay.
What about traffic though?
So he's like, he can basically, like, time wise and GPS wise, he's insane. Like, when I ask him what time it is, and he hasn't looked at the time, he can basically guess the time with a maximum of 5 minutes, give or take.
Wow.
And it's like, I can basically count on him as with his internal clock, just like, what time it is. Oh, it's like,
Is that why I hear you occasionally ask him what time it is?
Maybe.
You're just using him as a clock.
I'm using him as a clock, okay? But he's like that, and I don't know, it's funny to see that it's so different for so many people.
It is.
And me, with having, you know, a good friend, my best friend, and my husband having, like, this spectrum disorder. I don't like calling it a disorder. Condition. Let's call it the condition. We like that word, condition.
Yeah.
It's nice for me to get to see how different it is for everyone. Like, it's so different as there is people. Sure, some can have the same interest or same, you know, focus points, but not always needed. You know? Not necessary. For example, like, you have Witcher and Pirates, and Sharky doesn't feel like he has any, but in his family he has someone with cars, and my husband is with roads and clocks, so it's like, it's so very different.
Absolutely.
For me as a non-autistic person, it's very exciting. Because I get to hear someone talk about something I know nothing about.
Did you hear that, Sharky? Sharky, very exciting.
It's exciting for me to listen to, because you're a walking encyclopedia, for fuck's sake.
Well, Abby, if you heard carefully, she said, you and my mom's best friend's son, not me, because I don't have one.
Well, you're exciting to listen to, too.
Yeah.
You're still fine.
We're showing the love today.
All the love.
All the love.
But yeah, it's not always, you know, it's not always bad to have those points.
I don't think it's bad at any point to have those points.
Thank you.
What was that?
Funy Games. He just dropped into my chat, and he said it's amazing. What?
Hi, Funy.
Hello.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's bad per se. I don't think you could say it's bad.
No, there's not really anything bad about it.
It's more the viewpoint of the person that you're talking to. So, if that person doesn't like what you're talking about, generally they will say.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but I don't think it's bad to talk about what you love.
No, it's never bad to talk about what you love. Never. No matter if you're autistic or not, it's always good to see someone excited and happy about talking about something. You know? It's always good.
Last night when I was having dinner with my parents, I spent 10 minutes talking to my dad about each Pinterest pin that I had saved for my dream tea shop truck.
Right?
Oh
yeah.
10 minutes solid just talking about the pins.
That's also a thing, you know?
It's a thing. It's a thing. I spend a lot of time on Pinterest. I really do. I need to stop.
I used to do that, but then I got really annoyed because you can't save the pictures. You can only save them in the app. And I'm like, but I want the picture on my phone! And then you're like, no, you can't do that.
Atlanta just said something really nice. She said, seeing anyone talk about what they're passionate about is beautiful. They light up and their excitement is contagious. And I'm saying that. 100%. I'm saying it out loud because this is going to go on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's 100%.
Like, yeah. The interview itself is going up on YouTube. I'll explain this. The interview itself is going up on YouTube as a whole. I'm gonna split up the rest of the day's stream into highlights, and I'll have a highlight reel that I will also put up on YouTube. My YouTube channel has the same name as this channel, so if you want to go check that out, I have Spyro gameplay on there at the minute. Not much else, so.
But it's coming.
But it's all coming. It's all gonna come.
It's
all gonna come. It's gonna be great. So.
Oh God, no! Don't use that sentence. It's gonna be great, guys. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. Why am I not allowed to use that? Oh! Okay, I'm never gonna say that ever again in my life.
Yeah, that's why I was like, don't use.
It's all going up on YouTube.
It's all going up on YouTube.
You could have a lot of fun watching me rage through Spyro's flying levels. Because it is rage. I've got...
For anyone who likes to laugh at raging, please just go watch it. It's hilarious.
I have a video that isn't on YouTube, but it's from the first Spyro game on the Reignited trilogy. And I've named it Rage 42. And the reason for that is because during one of the flying levels, it took 42 attempts.
42 minutes.
No, 42 attempts.
Oh yeah, right.
Do.
It's like 5 minutes.
So that video is not on YouTube, but if you ever want to see it, I would like a lot of support, and then I'll put it up on YouTube because it's embarrassing.
Like if you want like so much time just looking at someone raging over a flying level in a game, sure.
Oh, hold on a minute. Mum's just messaged me privately. Twitter autism page. Okay. Guys, I'm going to give you the Twitter username for the National Autistic Society. Be prepared. There you go. So that's what it is. It's at autism. That's the Twitter info for the National Autistic Society. If I'll type in ! charity. That's got the website address as well, so you can go and check them out either way. And that's from Mum. Mum wanted you guys to have that. So go show my mum some love next time she's in chat.
I'll hug you back, Funi. I don't have that command, but I'll hug you back.
All right, so okay, so that was my announcements that I should have made earlier. So go ahead.
Yeah!
Yeah, what were we talking about?
New question, actually, because we already got through the focus points.
Awesome.
That was basically the last one. Do you have any special ways to get yourself to relax?
Okay, so I've noticed I've done this a lot today. But what I've been doing is I've been putting my finger up to my lips and just holding it there. That seems to be relaxing for me. I don't know why. But I also...
Also, Funi asked a question. Why are you people so nice?
Because we're sharing the love, Funi.
We're sharing the love, Funi. We're sharing.
I tend to drum. I drum my fingers a lot, which I don't do when I'm on microphone because I do realize it annoys people. And I also twist my fingers and click them. So once again, not something I do on microphone, so Sharky can't get annoyed at me.
Sorry.
It's alright.
I just want a pat on the back on how well I'm doing with holding my sniffles because I'm getting sick, okay?
I know. I've got hay fever. I had 2 really painful sneezes earlier and I was like, it's begun.
Oh, no.
So
it's like, my nose is hating me and I'm just like, breathe through your mouth. Breathe through your mouth. You can do this.
Atlanta says mute buttons are handy.
Mute buttons are handy.
They are
They
handy.
are muted. They are handy.
So yeah, and I sing a lot as well. I don't do it when people can hear, but I do. And
It's not the regular sing in the shower.
Oh no, I do sing in the shower. I won't lie, I do sing in the shower.
Who doesn't? It's a wonderful thing to do.
It is. I also sing in the car. Singing in the car is one of my favorite things to do. Except my stereo in my car is broken at the minute, so I've got no music. It makes me sad because I've got no
Scrapes
music.
doesn't
I don't
sing in the shower?
Grix doesn't sing?
You don't sing in the shower,
Grix?
I don't.
You don't sing in the shower?
No.
Grix is abnormal. He doesn't sing. Shadow, you're abnormal. You don't sing.
Fury doesn't sing in the shower. Are we just
We already know you're abnormal, Sharky, because we're autistic.
Apparently, yes, men don't like singing in showers.
Everything.
It might be because I'm on my own. I sing in the shower and I sing in the car because I have this anxiety that, you know, someone's gonna enter the house while I'm in my shower. Like, that is a legitimate scare.
If anyone is listening, if I feel like singing, I will the fuck out of that. I will sing so much that it will annoy so many people that I make them want to leave and I can sing again.
That's why you are bad.
That's why I'm a bot. Basically, though, I haven't been singing in the game, but you know.
You need to start, honestly.
I know, but anxiety, hey. It's wonderful.
I want to say, because Lauren said that she loves singing in the car. My dad, whenever he hears a song on the radio, and he knows a lot because they do a lot of traveling, especially when they had to go back and forth to New York to Pennsylvania and stuff. He sings every single song he knows. Like, it's nonstop. It's just something that he does like every single time. Like,
I do the same though. I always sing every song I know, which Abby knows is fucking a lot.
Yep, it is.
Abby knows that I know every lyric to almost every song I've heard. It's a bit of a curse, really.
See? Atlanta says you need to channel your inner Scanlan.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. I want to channel my inner Scanlan, but I can never be as good as Scanlan. Let's just admit that.
I will admit, I didn't like singing when I was younger. These days I don't care. These days I'll just sing.
I always loved singing since I was I don't want to say smaller because I'm small. Since I was a wee baby. I've always loved singing. And it's always been my way of channeling, you know, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Atlanta's like, oh hey, how tall are you guys again?
I will not mention that because we have one person that would...
Shut up!
We have one person that will, as you just did.
Sharky's taller than us.
Yeah, but I'm older. Ha! Oh wait, I'll die first. Fuck!
That's not necessarily true.
Well, statistically, if we don't do anything, I will die first.
Alright. Can we move on to the next question now? That was a
question.
Oh, sorry. That's what I meant. Sharky, you answer the question.
What do you do to get yourself to relax, Sharky?
So for me, I have my room. Like I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but I have a fan in the background. Like for me,
Not at all.
I just love my room. Like it's my own little personal space where I can control like the sounds that I hear. Like if I'm just having like a stressful day, I'll just like lay down on my bed and just listen to the sound of basically just the fan, just like my white noise. Just like try to get my mind off of all the things that really annoy me and just relax. Just get my mind off of stuff like that. And if that doesn't work, like I am a huge anime fan and I can just like I'll just like go and watch an anime that just on my mind and just focus on that, and that always brings a smile to my face. Like
all I'm saying is Boku no Hero Academia. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I love that one.
I watched the movie yesterday.
Wait, there's a movie?
There's a movie!
There's a movie! I didn't
let's
know.
watch it together.
Yes.
It's a good movie.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I like to relax, just listening to the sound of just the fan in the background. Because honestly,
I'm sorry, Sharky. I'm sorry, it's just my chat.
As much as I dislike certain sounds, I also dislike just a flat silence. Like I cannot go to sleep unless I have my fan in the background. I just find it super uncomfortable because I'm like, oh, but I could hear something in the background and I won't be able to do anything about it. I just love having like the nice controlled like white noise, so to speak.
Yeah.
I cannot stand like just flat out silence.
I do get that feeling because I can't sleep without like meditating music. I can't fall asleep with just no noise. I get that feeling.
I now use a meditation app to fall asleep because I have so much trouble falling asleep these days. I use an app. It has a lot of meditation stuff on it. I'll show you guys. So it's called
Also, Funi, I will link it to you later. The movie.
Yes.
It was just Funi that was like, movie from My Hero Academia.
So obviously you got like managing anxiety there, and you got like different ones. You have them saved to your library. It's great. And then you've got the sleep section, so it's dark. So when you wake up at night, it's not as bad. And then and you just tap it and you hit play, and it's amazing. You can fall asleep really easily to it, I find.
Yeah.
So yeah, I fall asleep with that app.
I basically use YouTube as my media because all other apps cost $1 billion. Like meditative apps and such are so expensive over here for some odd reason. So I just, go to YouTube and take every relaxing playlist that I can get to that has no ads, because I don't want to wake up with an ad screaming in my ear. I've done that before. Sometimes I use a 3-hour meditative video, or sometimes I use 8 hours.
Yeah.
Depending on what I feel like. And sometimes if it's the 8-hour one, it's like 4 or 5 hours in, there's just this, and it's right beside my head. I don't use earphones, so it's right beside my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 4 or 5 hours in, when I'm good and all asleep and stuff, I just get the biggest shock ever for some rando ad on YouTube.
Ads on YouTube are really annoying. Like, you're trying to watch Critical Role, right? And you're like...
that's why I use Adblock.
You're like 1 hour in, and then, and
it's a really exciting point.
And it's at this point when Matt stands up from the table, right? And things are exciting and they're escalating, And then it's an ad.
Exactly.
And it's like, no, I want to know what happens. I don't want to wait 5 seconds.
The only ads I would ever want to hear is Sam Riegel's ads.
Yes. Can we just get Sam Riegel to do every ad ever? Like every ad.
Ever.
Can you imagine him doing the buy one get one free advert? Jesus.
Oh, Funi says, I don't know why, but whenever I'm in bed and I feel like something's wrong, I just get this pressure when I pull up some music, I listen one song and I'm gone. Yeah, it's basically the same. Like this silence just builds up an anxiety pressure, and the minds just start wandering, and it's horrible. And when I listen to music, it's like as Sharky says, it's this white noise in the background.
Yeah.
That your brain subconsciously can focus on, so you don't get as stressed out.
Like for me, it's so bad. Like if it's in the middle of the night and like all of a sudden like, the power turns off and like my fan shuts off, I instantly like wake up like, huh? And I just see my fans off. I'm like, oh no.
These days, for the past week, I've woken up like 2 or 3 times a night, which is really unusual. And it's like, I will wake up and I'll be like, great, I'm awake. So I'll go for a walk around the house. Like, I will walk up and down stairs quite a few times before I go back to bed. And then I'll get back into bed. I'll turn the app back on and I'll go back to sleep. And then I'll wake up 2 hours later. It's really annoying.
You poor soul, you don't know who Sam Riegel is.
Funi,
poor soul.
Go and watch Critical Role. Go and watch it from the start.
Go watch Critical Role. That's all I'm saying. You will love Sam Riegel like I do. He's my new religion, I swear.
Thank you, Dad! Can everyone say thank you to Dad for me? My dad just donated £20.
I'm not going to say thank you, Dad, but thank you, Abba Dad.
Thank you, Dad. I love you so much.
Papa Abba, I love that better. Thank you, Atlanta.
Papa Abba. Papa Abba. So
thank
much.
you, Papa Abba.
Papa Abba. Thank you, Dad. I love you.
Oh, that's amazing.
So yeah.
Best behavior. Yeah, Shadow. No. They know too much about me for me to even start now.
Best behavior. Alright, so...
Shadow, they know too much about me for even me to start doing best behavior by now. I should just not even try.
Oh gosh.
To a critical
I just want to say my need for a fan at night is so bad that I actually, on my laptop, I downloaded like an audio, like 8-hour audio clip just in case of just a fan going in the headphones.
That's actually really good.
That reminds me a bit of Dog's Bacon Break. Like, the sound of bacon is actually very comfortable.
Honestly,
when he has a break.
Honestly,
and
when
it's the sizzling of bacon is like...
when Duck has a break and the sizzling bacon is on, it is a Pavlovian effect, and I do feel hungry when I hear it.
It's because it's bacon!
It's the bacon sound and the bacon picture and the fact that I know it's bacon and everything, it just makes me hungry.
It's bacon.
I get.
Makes hungry.
It's to the point where I can't watch his streams now because when he says he's having a break, I know it's because he's gonna put that bacon screen on. I'm hungry from the moment he says he's gonna have a break. Like, God damn it, Doc!
It's break time. Fuck.
Now I've got to go and have something to eat.
Yeah. All right. Next question. We still have some questions to go through.
I don't want bacon, Shadow. It's fine.
A lot of people think you aren't able to support yourself when you have autism. Do you believe you're able to get an education and support yourself as a person with autism?
I believe we've already answered this.
We have already kind of answered this with the other questions.
I'm gonna ask if Shaggy has anything to add here.
We definitely did talk about the educational part quite a bit.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Supporting myself. Since I live in the US, I was able to file for SSI, which is kind of income to help people with disabilities or disorders or conditions, as we like to say, to help get some money for like to live. So like I pay rent and everything, but I tried working, and it's just super hard for me because I have to be out in public for it. Like I used to be a cashier. Like I worked at a cashier for like a month, and it was just really hectic for me. Like just having to deal with everyone, like just having to talk to people and like do
Oh my god, I can imagine
things.
all the trouble with the sounds as cashier. Oh.
I fully understand.
And
oh yeah,
as we were talking about Abby about the eye contact, like people chewing gum and everything, like it drives me absolutely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I only worked a month because it was actually closing down. I don't know why, but they hired someone, and then like a couple of days later, oh, by the way, we're closing down at the end of the month. I'm like, oh, well, okay. And so like everything was on sale, so like people were just flying in. I was constantly bombarded with customers. It was
Oh,
super
boy.
stressful. It was really hard to deal with, and
Sales.
I did try looking for other work, but no one would really hire me. I don't know if it was because of I didn't have like the credentials or anything. Like I've tried other retail, like other cashier and stuff. No one hired me, so that's why I did file for SSI. It's hard. Like I think emotionally and like mentally I can support myself, but like it's super hard to go out in public for long periods of time.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, work is difficult, I guess. But I do believe that you can support yourself as a person with autism. Like, I won't talk about work because I know what the next question is. But
well, we can just brush over it because
we
the
can?
next one is basically what we're also answering now. How does your autism affect the work you have?
Yeah. Okay, so
basically we can just code it into one.
I'll stretch this one then. Okay, so supporting myself is really difficult. I live on my own, for starters. So I live in my own home. I have to do everything, and everything's on me, and that is fine. I am okay with that level of responsibility because I am prepared for it and I am able to do it. It's really difficult though when I'm at work because obviously I've talked about this before. My boss is okay with me being autistic, but it's more of a how do I put it? More I'm stood completely still the entire time that I'm there, and you know that this caused a back problem a little bit earlier in the year, don't you? So yeah. I was wearing a back brace whilst I was at work for maybe 2 months, and I don't have the problem now because of the exercise that I started doing. It's actually helped loads. But when I'm at work, I'm stood there, I'm stood still. I'm not allowed to leave my till because there's no security in the shop. And so technically I'm also a security guard. I've got so much stuff to focus on. I've got customers. I've got a phone that I have to answer. I've got a headset that I have to wear that people are constantly talking over, and I can't understand what the customers I'm talking to are saying to me because of it. I've got I'm partially deaf as well, so all of that, and children screaming, children who have been released by their parents are just running around honking the bike horns and the bike bells, and it's like it's really stressful, but
Release the Kraken!
It is a release the Kraken situation, but I support myself with the money that I earn. So I know that it's something that I cannot just stop doing. I have to keep going to work, so I've got the money so I can support myself, so I can live here, so I can do what I need to do for university. So it's... With that in mind, I know that I can't not go to work, you know? And so when I get a holiday, I get really excited because I don't have to speak to customers. It's really... I generally don't like customers. Like, I've said that there's the type of customer that comes in and they see that I'm not looking at their face and they start doing this and trying to get into my eyesight, and it's like, no. But then you've got the people that, okay, so my till has a countertop that's maybe from the tips of my fingers to maybe just below my shoulder. It's that wide. And they will lean all the way over it. I mean, all the way. And get into my personal space. That is also really anxiety inducing because I don't like people standing too close to me. I don't like people touching me. And it's just really uncomfortable. And I'm moving into the second part of this, which is how autism effects work. So, with that in mind, a lot of the time I'm really uncomfortable. So it's at work, I'm stressed. So my whole body is kind of just tense, you know? And it's really uncomfortable. And at the end of the day, I'm aching. I feel sore because I've been tense the whole time. And then you add in colleagues, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And you know where I'm going with this.
That's
right?
a whole new
Right? So 99% of the team that I work with, I get along with fine. The 1% is this little... Wait, I'm not naming names.
Most of us know who it is.
If you're in my Discord, you know. Oh, you know. But this little shit, right? This little shit decides every now and then he's gonna come and stand and hover over my shoulder. And it's so incredibly frustrating. It takes everything in my willpower not to turn around and deck this little shit in the face, right? So,
I wish you would do it.
One day, when I leave, the day I leave, I'm gonna throat punch that sucker so damn hard.
That does not surprise me, actually.
Right? This, he is a kid, right? He's a kid, and honest to God, he thinks he's God's gift to the world, right? And it's just such a little shit. He's so annoying. He gets right up close to me, and it's just, dude, I need personal space. I need personal space. I need personal space. And it's every time I tell him, every time, and he will do nothing, and he will just stare at me, and he'll look like I haven't said a word, and it's so uncomfortable, and it's really annoying. And I've said that I get along great with everyone else. So what I mean by that is everyone else hates this guy as well, right?
So it's getting along with the mutual hate.
It's not just through neutral hatred. To be fair, I try my best to bond with these people. I don't really like bond as in a personal sense. I do. You know, I will say, oh, how was your week? You said you were going to do this. How did that go? Type thing.
Interact with them on a friendly basis.
I interact with them on a friendly basis. This little shit, however, right? He walked in the first day he started, and he took offense to me. Right?
Don't worry, Funi. It's not about giving money. It's more supporting the whole thing.
It's more about the awareness of things.
It's more about the awareness. So spread the word. Do your thing. Have a wonderful day.
So yeah, and this little shit, I've explained I'm autistic, I've explained I'm partially deaf, I explained that I need personal space, and for him to speak to me at my face and loudly, right? He ignores everything I say to him.
He's a bully, that's what he is.
He ignores everything I say. He ignores, he thinks that I'm doing my job so badly that he has to tell me to do something that I've already done because I am really good at my job, right? And it's, it's just, he really riles me up, so so annoying. So, you know, whenever he's in, I have to, like, really, really grab a hold of everything instinctually inside me. Everything I have inside of me, I have to chain down when I'm at work.
Yeah.
In order to be able to operate on a efficient and polite manner to customers.
Yeah.
So even if this little shit is right up in my grill, I have to be pleasant. So when I lost it yesterday, and I almost swore at this little shit over the headset in front of a customer, I did kind of stop myself, and I turned around to the customer, and I was like, I am really sorry. I am so sorry. I'm just talking to a colleague that I actually really hate. And this customer's like, it's fine. It's like, so it's like, oh. Yeah, he doesn't stand as close to me anymore because I every time he does so, this is
Maybe he's afraid of starting to get punched.
This is how I cope with it now. I cope with it by giving him a job to do. Right? He will not do that job. I 100% am absolutely certain every time I give him a job, he doesn't do it. 100% I know he's not going to. So I give him a job and he walks away. Because he's like, no, I don't want to do your job, so I'm going to walk away. It's like, yeah, that's what I wanted, so, you know.
Yeah.
Who's a real winner here, boys?
Who's the real winner here, you dickhead? Yeah.
But yeah, so I've not talked to my boss about it because I don't want to be seen as the crazy person with issues.
Well, basically everyone hates him, so I think you should talk to your boss about it.
I should.
We can all talk about it.
I should. I might. We'll see how it is when I come back from my holiday. But yeah. Yeah, that's how it affects me at work. Is basically just
yeah.
I come home.
He riles you up.
He does. I come home and there are just days when I just want to cry when I get home. Because him plus really annoying customers, right? And
it's just too much, yeah.
Yeah, and some days there are customers who shout at me, and it's like
customers that shout are the worst.
If you're a customer and you shout at the person who's behind the till, I just want you to know they're the lowest paid person in there. Don't fucking do it. They don't have time for your shit. They're trying their best. Okay, guys? They're trying their best.
Is the same with, especially over here, non-Danish or English-speaking Asians.
What?
They come in, like, non-Danish or English-speaking Asians. So basically, Asian tourists.
Mm-hmm.
Because stuff over here is apparently a lot more cheaper than it is over there. For them. So, and I was working at the beauty industry, as I talked about earlier. They come in, having their phone on speaker, talking.
Oh, I hate it when they have
own
the phone on
language.
speaker. Oh.
And they have no respect for anyone else.
No.
And it's like they just keep talking to them, and you're like, well, I'll help you with something, and they're like, they just look at you, and they expect you to know what they want, and keep standing there talking with people over the phone on speaker, and I'm like, ma'am, you're obstructing the peace in the store. Can you just please not? Can you please not?
Every customer that walks through the door at the store I work at is disrupting the goddamn piece. I'm telling you. Every customer.
I had a lot of those. And because I was in the beauty industry, there was a lot.
There was a lot of what?
Teenagers.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
Coming into the store too.
Oh
and
god.
And they were like, what is the best foundation you have? And we'll go, okay, well, this and this. And they're like, but do you have something cheaper? And I'm like, well, yeah, then it's this and this. And then they're like, I basically want drugstore makeup for that can do the same thing as the expensive kind. I was like, I can't do that. I can't work magic for you. You can't get a miracle for you can't do that. And then they get mad at me for not being able to work miracles for $1.
Yeah. The customer that was shouting yesterday, and this was yesterday, was because my manager was with a customer, had been with a customer since before this guy came in, right? And me and another colleague both said to this guy, you're gonna have to wait, he's with another customer. And he was like, okay, fine, right? At that point, he'd been in the store 10 minutes whilst we're trying to sort him out. Yeah. And we can't, we need the manager. Obviously, the manager's with someone and building a bike, right? So it's like, it's a known fact in our store. You don't disrupt the manager in the middle of a bike build, right? So when this guy he didn't shout at me specifically. He was stood maybe 2 feet to my left, and he shouted at the very top of his voice to the point where it actually echoed in the store. He shouted "Oi" really loudly to get the manager's attention, right? And
that kind of person.
Right? It's like it made me flinch because I don't like sudden loud noises like that.
No.
I have to agree with that.
It's not pleasant, is it, Sharky?
I don't think anyone likes those kind of sounds.
Right, and
I would hate it too. Like, sudden sounds are just the worst for me.
That is the absolute worst for me.
Yeah, I can understand how it would be even worse for you guys.
Yeah, and our manager was just like, hey, was just completely ignoring him the entire time, and until he finished with this lovely lady who he was building a bike for.
Shadow is talking about how people speaking Cantonese could have a pleasant conversation and sound like shouting match.
Have you ever heard Romanian? German? No, Romanian's worse.
No, German is
worse. It is worse. No, Romania's worse.
All I'm saying is Krankenwagen. That means ambulance.
No, I thought it was Krankwagen.
No, Krankenwagen.
Ah.
That is ambulance in German. It sounds so aggressive. It's like such an aggressive language. It's horrible.
It is horrible. Yeah, it's so this one guy put me into.
I've heard Cantonese, Shadow. I've heard Cantonese. A lot of them came.
Yeah, this one guy in the store that shouted once, one word, almost put me into a mental state of disrepair. I almost broke down.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
It just threw everything.
Yeah.
Off. Yeah. Alright. Next question. How does your autism reflect on your relationships? And that means both friendship and romantic relationships.
Shaki, do you want to go?
Alright, already kind of touched up on it. Like, for me personally, like I have some amazing friends who are very understanding, but again, it's super hard to originally open up and talk about it. So I'll go to the romantic part because I did have a girlfriend for like 2 to 3 years. She was also very understanding about it, and she basically I could always talk to her about anything that was really on my mind. she was very, very sweet and understanding. I will say, like, we are separate now, like, for separate reasons other than that, but at the time, like, there were definitely some really understanding people out there who will look past that, and that meant a lot to me at the time. But personal, like, autism hasn't really affected my relationships too badly, which is honestly, like, the world to me, because you guys are absolutely amazing.
I will agree with Sharky for most of that. I don't think autism has affected relationships, but I think that everyone that I know, everyone that I can name and call a friend, is understanding of autism and how it affects me, and they're just generally good people, I think. So I don't think it's affected my relationships too much. I think it did in the earlier years, so when I was little and I was having trouble making friends. I still have trouble making friends these days, but I don't think it's as bad as it used to be.
But we're also talking, like, if you, like, you have with, like, feelings in general, if I'm not misunderstanding.
Feelings in general? I don't think it's affected the way I feel. I know that for most autistic people, the way we feel is largely a lot more and a lot deeper than, let's say, the average non-autistic person.
Yeah.
But we just don't show it, I feel. I think that's where I fall.
Show than
it's hard for us to show.
The regular non-autistic person.
Yeah, it's hard for us to show how we feel because we're not quite sure what is right to show.
Yeah.
And we live in a society where showing our feelings as fully as possible is not something that happens every day.
It's not something that happens every day, no.
No, you don't see someone showing the full range of how they feel every day, every moment, you know. And because it's also not seen on TV, in media, so a lot of the time I feel like I haven't learned how to emote properly.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm a little bit scared too.
Like, in the outside, it's basically a lot more subtle. It's discreet on how to show stuff, and it's not always easy to do that.
Absolutely. Like, I will give an example. I've recently, over the recent years, I should say, is I've learned to care less about how my showing of emotions comes across to the average stranger. So, what I mean by that is when I'll use a recent example. I went to Comic-Con last October, right?
Yeah.
It was a birthday present to myself. I wanted to go and meet Matt Mercer and Liam O'Brien and Taliesin Jaffe from Critical Role. And I went out and I did that. And it was fun, right? But leading up to that, outside the train station to go to London, I was bouncing up and down, right? I was absolutely so excited I couldn't contain it. Yeah. And I have to commend my friend Josh. Josh is Shadow, you're 6'1", right? Josh is 6'2". I come up to his elbow.
Tall people.
I come up to
such tall people. What the fuck?
Right, I come up to Josh's elbow, so there's me bouncing up and down next to him, and he's up here, and it's like, it must have been a sight. Oh no, you're 6'2" as well. Okay, yeah, Josh is 6'2", and he's One of my hoodie strings is longer than the other.
What is 16 centimeters? I don't know.
Don't
use that kind of stuff over here. We use centimeters.
Shut up. How big is it in centimeters?
Giggity. I'm so sorry.
Okay, that's not being in the YouTube video.
Apparently, 6'2" is approximately 187.96 centimeters.
Jesus Christ, you guys are so tall.
So tall.
So tall.
But, yeah,
188, he says. 188 centimeters.
So tall.
Seriously?
So tall. But yeah, So I'm bouncing up and down. I don't really care because I'm really excited, right? Maybe about 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been bouncing up and down. I wouldn't have been able to show that excitement physically. I would have kept it inside. It would have been a boiling cauldron that would have been overflowing inside of me. I wouldn't have been able to keep show it.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with showing that level of excitement now. And I'm getting there. I can show emotions from time to time. I think
you're doing well.
I think I'm really good at showing anger.
Oh yeah. Definitely. But you're doing well. I think you're doing even better than you give yourself credit for. Because I think you're doing well. And I can say that from a point of where I talk with you every day. So I think you're doing well in learning how to show your emotions on a base that, cooperates with yourself and the everyday world.
Yeah. See, every day is a learning day.
Every day is a learning day. Even though it's how to cope with stress and anxiety.
Okay, so yeah. So if that's how I feel when I'm excited, you can imagine how that would feel if I was happy or sad. You know what anger looks like on me, so I won't say that. But you know how it would feel, how it would look on me if I was, loving on someone, Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the end of my answer, because I don't think I've got anything left to say for that one.
Yeah. Okay. Now we get to the troublesome one that there's a lot of opinions about, and a lot of angry opinions about. Many people believe that vaccines are autism. Do you believe that vaccines are responsible for that? That is worth a question. I know you don't.
It's a stupid question.
It's stupid, but we have to include it.
We do, for misinformation's sake.
A lot of people don't, read what's on the internet with criticism.
So, I actually know the origin of this. In 1998, and it was published in 2000, this one guy, and I forget his name, but I remember the study, so bear with me, is this one guy studied how vaccines and autism may be linked, okay? So, back then, that was 20 odd years ago, right? And oh, Mom!
Album!
So,
I want to give you a hug!
I want a hug, too.
I'll hug all of you, it's okay.
Mom, you're gonna get everyone hugging you. So,
I swear if I visit you, we will visit your mom and she will get a hug. That's all I'm saying.
So... What was I saying, Mom? What have you done?
You were talking about the guy who made the study about vaccines.
Oh, that was it. This song is too cheery to be talking about that. But I will keep it on anyway. So 1998, it was released in 2000, and he was looking at a possible link between autism and vaccines, okay? Possible link, not a causation relationship, okay? Not a cause and effect, a link, okay? It was a really damn stupid study because it was, I believe it was in the UK. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I looked at it. But he got 10 kids. That is 10 people, 10 children that were under the age of 10 who had already been vaccinated and already had already been diagnosed as autistic. Okay? So that is there's nothing there to be studied. There's no study there at all. It's not longitudinal. You can't, if you're going to do something like that, you study them before they were vaccinated and after they were vaccinated, okay? And you study them for a number of years. And Mum's right, children do show signs of autism before vaccination.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, there was no good sample size. There was no control of the study either. So there was no children there that were vaccinated and didn't have autism, for example. And there was no variables to measure, nothing, right? So it was not a repeatable study. Shadow is absolutely right saying all of those things. And, like, it's just,
It was basically this, it would basically be
study. This study.
You have autism, yes. Are you vaccinated? Yes. Okay, your vaccine is the cause of your...
And this guy,
the same as that.
This guy published his study paper, right? And the newspapers went, "Oh, hey, look at that! There's a link. The vaccines cause autism." Right? They didn't read the paper properly. They didn't look at the facts, and they went, "Splash headline is vaccines cause autism," and it was in the Daily Mail. This was most prominent in, okay? Because I have done my research on this, because I did write a really long Tumblr rant about this once. So somewhere in the ether of my computer, there is that rant saved somewhere. And like 2 years later, 2002, this guy's medical license is revoked. He's not allowed to study anything anymore. He's no longer a doctor. He's been kicked out of the psychological society that he was part of, and his study has been disproven many times since, okay? But none of the papers want to write about that, no. So
they only write about what's interesting, which
they wrote about they wrote about the study.
They didn't write about it being a study, they just wrote vaccines cause autism.
Yeah,
that is where it goes wrong for the media.
Yeah. So
they really need to show what it's actually about instead of just making an interesting headline.
So
it can be misunderstood so badly, which it has with this particular subject, and that's where the anti-vaxxer came in, and it's just let's not begin on those.
So yeah,
my brain is hurting just from thinking about it.
So these newspapers took that headline and they didn't repair the damage to society that they did by writing about how the medical license got revoked or anything, right? So that is really sucky, and because of that, there's this irreparable damage and misinformation that is being spread through anti-vaxxers now.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a really ableist thing to do, and the society as a whole and the media have not repaired this. And
no, they have done nothing to
largely
repair the slightest.
And I'm likening it to scaremongering. I'm not sure if it actually is scaremongering, but I feel like it's very similar to, because people are now scared that their child is going to grow up to be autistic. And it's...
But you can't grow up to be autistic.
Right?
You're born that way.
You're born that way.
It functions that way.
It doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or not. If you're vaccinated, great, you're going to live your life, right? But if you're not vaccinated, you're probably going to die before you're 10. So you know, is this huge, big issue that has now become because of this one doctor and
because of that one doctor has everything just blown out of proportion, and because of them, the anti-vaxxers, which we do not mention, sicknesses that has been long gone and dead are starting to reappear.
Yeah, so
I kid you not. A lot of the sicknesses that was supposed to be, you know, completely dead and gone, they're coming back because of anti-vaxxers, because their kids are not getting the vaccines they should, so they are more susceptible to getting these sicknesses, and therefore gets them. So they, you know, are getting reborn, and it's, I just want to
honestly, it began that way, and now it's evolved for anti-vaxxers. It's not just about autism now. It's more that they've also got the argument of, what is it? It's, there's really bad things inside the vaccines themselves. And it's like, not in the quantities they are. Yeah, you read the ingredients list. But have you looked at the ingredients?
Yeah, there's tiny versions.
Okay.
You're getting vaccine about in it. But it's not anything to get you sick.
No. So if you look at like the list of ingredients on something, let's see. I've got Pepsi here, right? I bet you anything there's acid written in there somewhere, right? Yeah, acid, phosphoric acid, citric acid, right? Both of those things in large quantities are dangerous. Will you stop drinking Pepsi? No. Why is that any different for a vaccine? So I have a lot of angry feelings towards anti-vaxxers. Because they're stupid.
We have, I think we both mostly agree on this one with the anti-vaxxers.
Yeah.
They're a whole new kind of stupid.
Shadow has said it is scaremongering.
Yeah.
Yes, it's she said it. She finished. Relieved we had an answer. Yeah. So Atlanta, you were relieved you got an answer for what was. I'm not gonna say what was wrong with your child because there's nothing wrong with us at all. So it's more of a why your child has been behaving the way they've been behaving. Okay. If you didn't have the information saying your child is autistic, you might not know that they have a problem with the texture of clothes. Okay? I used to wear my socks inside out because you know that little seam on the toes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that bothered me. So I wore my socks inside out as a kid. Right? I don't anymore unless, you know, I've not looked at my socks and they happen to be inside out. But
that can happen to everyone.
That can happen to everyone. But you know, if you didn't have that information of that diagnosis, you wouldn't know how to help your child when they were having a meltdown. You wouldn't even know they were having a meltdown. You just think they're just having a temper tantrum for no reason. The diagnosis is more freeing than it is harmful.
It's more freeing than it's constraining.
Yes. Really. Absolutely.
Atlanta, you're a good mother, okay?
You are a good mother.
Do not question that. You're a good mother, and you're doing whatever you can for your child.
And Atlanta, if you have any questions at all, you know where you can find me.
And me.
And Sharky. And I'm really sorry, Sharky. I've been talking for so long.
I want to say me too, but I don't have autism. I just have a lot of... Bye.
Yeah, anti-vaxxers and the whole vaccine causing autism thing, it makes me angry because no one's done the research, no one knows.
I don't have autism, but it makes...
Yeah, it should make anyone angry because...
I'm very opinionated. on certain things, I'm very opinionated. On some things, I really couldn't give less shits, but... On certain things, I'm very opinionated.
Yeah. Alright. I feel like I've answered that question. So does Sharky want to add to it?
I don't think I can add to anything. Add to that.
No.
Right.
No. It's basically what it is, and we just had to include it because it's so stupid, and
It is so stupid, and yeah, I did all the research because I'm a psychologist. So there you have it, from an actual psychologist to a bunch of, I'm not gonna say stupid idiots because I know we are, but we're not. At the same time, you're my friends.
We're dorks, okay?
We're dorks. There you go.
We're dorks.
Because of autism, if that were her reason, I would not refer to her as a friend. She's just too hippie. Oh god.
Too hippie for. Oh god, no.
Oh god.
God, no. Okay, Donks says, it's 7 a.m. and I really need to bleep what I say. Autism is something that I know practically nothing about, and in the last 2 hours that I've been here, I've learned so much that I've gotten so much insight into living with conditions such as diabetes and mega nightshirt, as even though I can never really truly understand their lives and their own personal struggles and the struggles felt by others with differing conditions, this has at the very least allowed me to gain insight into it. Aww.
Oh, that's really good. I'm so
all we
glad.
needed.
I'm so glad. That was the aim of the stream. We can stop now, guys.
No.
We're done.
We're done, guys. We did it. We did it,
That's
Reddit.
what we wanted. We wanted people to have insight in, the real life of autism instead of what the media tells you.
I'm sorry, that must have looked really weird on camera. What I was doing was I was just shifting my body, but I can't use my hand. So I'm using my elbow instead. So it must have looked really weird, because I'm like leaning almost all the way over my chair. So, just to explain.
But you sleep well, Donk, and I'm really happy.
Wait, are you saying dong?
Yeah, Donk.
Donk.
D-O-N-K.
Donk.
He's called
Okay.
Donks for days, but I'm...
Donks for days. I like your username, Donks for days.
His username is...
So good.
But you sleep well, and I'm very glad that this at least gave you a little bit of insight.
Mm-hmm. I was hearing something else. I don't know where my mind was.
Somewhere in the gutter, I believe.
It's not late enough for that. It's 3:30.
It's late enough in the stream.
Alright.
5.5 hours in,
Okay,
guys.
so okay. We've got 2 questions left, Rixy.
2 questions.
And then we can open up to chat. So,
Yeah.
when we finished with the interview, there is a Q&A. So if you've got any questions, you can ask them at the end of the interview.
Yeah. Any questions, concerns, anything, just throw them at us. And I don't mean personal, I just mean about...
Yeah, please don't aim for the head.
Don't hate me. I'm just Okay. Do you have other troubles besides autism? And how does it affect it? Like anxiety or depression, etc.
I'll start. Thankfully for me, I've been a rather cheerful kid for the majority of my life. Like, I've never suffered from depression or anxiety. Like, I can say, like, during the earlier parts of my life, like, when we were first finding out about autism and everything, like, I can't remember everything, but I can remember some points where I was just, like, really upset. Like, a lot of people would, like, pick on me. Like, I was just, like, an outcast or something like that. But, it never really got to me on a really, really deep level. And, like, I've always been able to walk past or push past it. As you guys know, I'm rather upbeat. Like, I'm a really silly guy. I'm just really thankful that I was able to just ignore, like, that stuff doesn't really bother me too much anymore, because I've gotten past it and everything, and I don't hear it very often. I'm just really happy. I'm just thankful that I don't have anything like that. It's just autism for me.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to imagine how it would feel for you guys who have depression. Like, I know several people who have it, and I can just say with certainty that I don't have it, and I know it's horrible, and I'm thankful that I don't have to go through it. I know that's kind of hard for me to say with you guys, but
no, it's good.
It's good.
It's the best thing you can say is that you're thankful going through it. That is the best thing you could ever say.
Okay, so I'll have a shot at an answer now. So
also,
it is.
Donk says his name is based off a song. It's just a meme, which is also an accurate way to describe him. And he said good night.
Okay. Good night, Doc. So Atlanta says it's validating. I think that was in response to hearing Sharky say that he's thankful. Yeah.
It's not selfish to be happy that you don't have it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the best thing. Don't be pitying people that have it.
Yeah.
Be selfish. Be happy that you don't have it.
Yeah. Definitely. So yeah, my answer will start with a little known fact. Autism actually goes hand in hand with several other conditions. Okay, so we've said that autism is a spectrum disorder. Yep. Okay, it is known as ASD. There are many variants of it, many traits, many things underneath the umbrella of autism. Okay, OCD is another disorder, the obsessive compulsive disorder, and that is a trait on the autism spectrum, but it is also its own thing. It's its own disorder as well. Same with anxiety and depression, actually. Autism can go hand in hand with anxiety and depression, and being an autistic person who has gone through depression, I can say that it is extremely difficult. I've already stated that I didn't know how to emote. My mum's already come up in chat and said it took me 18 years to give her a hug. Right? When I was going through depression, okay, this was pre-18th birthday. Okay? So I was 17, 16, 15 going through depression. And I hid it. I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to emote. I didn't know how to show it. I didn't know how to get it out there to get help. And one of the things that I did, and I see now why I did it. I see that it's because it was the only way that I knew how to act was through anger.
Yeah.
I lashed out so much. And when I wasn't lashing out, I was shutting down. So, knowing what I know now, I was in a very difficult period of time. And I am very grateful. I'm very thankful that I am not there now. I am happy. And I am thankful that I am not depressed. But I am aware that occasionally I will get an intrusive thought. But I know how to handle that better. And I know how to help myself. And again, I'm thankful that I'm not depressed, but I'm also kind of thankful that I went through it. So if I didn't go through it, how would I be today? So you kind of see where I'm getting at there?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I don't think anyone entered that giveaway either. It just ended again.
I see that.
So, okay. I'll change the game. You guys can have Civ 6, okay? Yeah, so that's kind of my answer on depression and anxiety. And of course, I'm anxious. I'm an anxious person. Yeah. I don't think anything would change that. I am an anxious person. Yeah. But again, I know how to handle it better now. You know? So
That's wonderful.
So yeah. Okay. Can we talk about something else before I start crying?
Definitely, of course. Definitely. It's not something that should like do that much harm, this interview here.
Yeah.
And we've actually come to the last one.
Hey, we made it to the last question. It already took us 3 hours.
How do you think people can help spread awareness?
Shaki?
I think the best way is to just like be open to people coming to talking about it. Like again, like I can't stress enough just like how scary it is to like even admit it to someone, like even like some of your closest friends. Just like being open-minded and understanding when listening to people. I feel like that's the best way to go about it. Just having an open mind, understanding, and just listening to their concerns. And just I think that's it. I don't know what else to add there.
Okay, so how to help spread awareness of autism, and this can be for anything actually. It doesn't have to just be about autism, but I'm making it about autism because that's what the stream's about. So you suck it.
Now you're sounding like my phone.
Alright, so I would say go Google is your best friend. Go research your local autism charities. So my charity of choice is the National Autistic Society. I can't up them enough. They are amazing people, amazing volunteers. They have UK based. They are a UK based charity. They have all across the country. They have centres. They have quite a few centres. So run by volunteers, and they will help with knowledge. If you have any questions, advice, they can help with all of that. They have they help 100,000 people per year, which is amazing. That's a lot of people, right? That's a huge amount of people. They also help not just autistic people themselves, but families of autistic people. So that's what the NAS are all about. They're all about the community. They're all about helping people, helping each other. They have a helpline and everything. You can go check it out. Type in !charity into chat. The link for their website will pop up for you. Yeah, go check out your local autism charities. Do your research on them first. Don't blindly follow them, because there are quite a few shitty charities out there that, well, some will just steal your money, right?
Oh, definitely.
I won't lie about that. Some will steal your money. Some are actually anti-autism, but preface it with we're helping autistic people. These people are generally trying to cure autistic people. Don't be fooled, there is no cure, okay? We are the way we are, and quite honestly, Jackie, will you agree with me if I say we're proud of it?
So to speak, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's definitely a part of me, and it'd be weird to suddenly be without it.
Yeah. Okay. So you can do your own thing to spread awareness. Like, I'm streaming. You can do the same. You could do a fun run. The NAS have something called a Spectrum Night Walk, where you dress up with glow sticks. Right, it's really cool, actually, if you've seen photos. It's really cool. You dress up with glow sticks and you go on a walk at night. It's amazing. So yeah, it's really good for Pokemon Go, I reckon. So if you're a Pokemon Goer, you know what to do, right? I'm streaming today with using Just Giving to make it easier to get money to the National Autistic Society. Just Giving don't just do the National Autistic Society, they do a bunch of other charities as well. really cool. I like their website a lot. It's a really cool looking website. Really easy to use as well. So if you want to stream the way I've streamed today, that's how I've done it. So yeah, and if you have any ideas for fundraising, write them down, okay? I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to show you guys what I did to plan for this stream, okay?
Oh boy.
These two know. These two know what I'm about to show you.
We did.
And they're jealous that this is how I can plan things. Here you go. This is my mind map, right? You got, hold on a minute. Autism Awareness Plan, right? And it goes across both pages. And it's just a mind map, right? Just a mind map of ideas, how to do things, what I wanted from the stream. So yeah, write down any ideas you have and just mind map it. Go for it. You can do it. You wish you were that organized. But yeah, that's how I say if you want to spread awareness, do your thing. I think that concludes the interview.
I don't have more questions.
Does anyone have any Q&A questions? Does anyone want to ask anything? Chat?
Oh, don't worry, Atlanta. I wish I was. I am definitely not. Although I do love binders.
See, you're organized in your own way.
But I wish I was.
But you're organized.
Your way is pretty. Mine is just a shit ton of binders.
Do you want to see my paper clips, guys? I've got so many paper clips. Look. Got so many. That's just one. I've got giant paper clips too. Because I like paper clips. Paper clips, you guys. And pretty colours. So yeah. I've got so many pages of this book. Does anyone have any questions in your chat, Rixy?
None at all. I only have one viewer, and I think that's Shadow.
Okay, so I think that concludes the interview.
Yep, it's Shadow. Hi, Shadow.
Oh, here we go. Atlanta says something. What?
Oh, Sharky.
No, it's okay, Atlanta. You made it in time. What would you guys like to see out in the world as far as support goes for people on the spectrum? What were you missing or what you had that helped growing up and functioning? What tools would you like to get more information spread about? So, I've already mentioned meditation. Ooh, that's a really good question. That's a very
tough one.
It's a loaded question, that one, isn't it? Let's see. So, I'm gonna break it down. What support? What would you guys like to see out in the world as far as support goes? I would like to see. I would like to see more workplaces open to working with people with autism, because not at the job that I'm at, but the job before that, I was a waitress at a restaurant. They found out I was autistic and they got rid of me lickety-split. So that was incredibly heartbreaking, and they wouldn't come clean with me about why they did it. So it's a more accepting workplace environment for autistic people and a more autism accepting employers is what I would like to see.
But what tools would you like to, help young people trying to deal and cope with autism? Like as a kid, like what did you wish as a kid you had access to, like meditation and stuff, and
I think the only thing I ever wished for as a kid was a friend that understood. So if you're a relative of a person with autism, or you are their mother, brother, whatever, if you're a relative, okay, just be the best friend that you can be. Because I know for damn sure that my mom tried. But I also know for damn sure that my mom wanted to slap me on occasion. So, yeah. It's okay, our relationship's great, you guys. But, you know, it was more to do with the fact that Atlanta, Sam is quite a bit younger than I was when I was diagnosed, so you have kind of like this head start on my mom. What I would say is you use that to your advantage. You be the bestest friend you can be to little Sam, okay? And, you know, I know you're gonna need support as well. So, if you need to, you reach out. Is what I would say. No, I'm gonna say that. Yeah, you reach out, Atlanta, if you need help, because we're here too. I don't know. Do you have a better answer, Sharky?
I don't.
Just here. Hi.
You have an answer, Rixy.
Why would I have an answer? I have autism.
Yeah.
I have a lot of wishes from my childhood.
So yeah.
That's a whole other story.
So tools. I showed you the Headspace app earlier. So. I don't know if it's available in the US. I believe it is because there is an
Headspace should be.
Yeah,
it actually should be available in the.
Yeah, it's also it's got American voices on some of the sleep meditations. So I think it's available in America.
Most apps is.
So that one's really useful. You've got like different subsections. Like you've got anxiety, you've got stress, you've got depression, you've got ones for students. It's no, that's going to be sound boring. I'll be honest. I don't like those voices because they're male. I like there's an English female that I like listening to because she's really calm. It's really easy to listen to. But yeah, there's this the app is really good. It'll take you through deep breathing exercises. It'll take you through mindfulness exercises, which is really good. What mindfulness is you're just... Okay, so you're sitting down, you close your eyes, a thought comes along, and you go, yeah, that's a thought, and you let it go. Okay? That's what mindfulness is. It's difficult at first.
There is one American guy, though, that I would wish made stuff like this.
Are you talking about Doc?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Right, so...
His voice is smooth like butter.
But yeah, so there's mindfulness. It's really, really good for that. Relaxing. You can do it anytime you want. There's 5-minute sessions, 10-minute sessions. I think it goes up to an hour on some sessions as well, which is really good. And basically it just takes you through these exercises that just calm you down. I suggest that it's really good for kids as well. Teach them that skill early is what I'll say, because school is stressful.
I would think, like, try to teach your kid how to,
breathe
and take their time for themselves down, and and that's not just autism, that's every kid,
because
everything. Just
I will
let them learn to take their time to breathe, to do a meditation exercise, and just calm down and relax, so that way anyone can have a much more clear head to deal with the problem at hand.
A much calmer time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It will be a much calmer and much more responsive time if if they learn early on to take their time when they're feeling anxious or stressed out.
Yeah, definitely.
Let them have their time. Let them be like in their own.
It really helps with exams as well. Just there. So, like, in exams, I would get worked up. I wouldn't be able to focus. If I had that tool when I was younger doing my GCSEs, it would have made them a lot smoother, a lot easier. So, yeah, you can teach them early. That's for every kid. That's not just for autism.
Lana also asked, how do you guys feel about stuff that's marketed to people with autism?
I was just about to address that one. So, last night... Yeah, it was last night. I had to think then. I woke up like 5 times. so last night I was trying to go to sleep for the first time, and I actually had to get up, get out of bed, and make my bed because I have my duvet, and at the foot of my bed I have 2 blankets on the top, right, just at the foot of my bed, and it causes the weight on the feet. And I like that weight on my feet specifically when I'm asleep.
Yeah.
So, as I'm grumbling to myself, getting out of bed, going, oh, I didn't want to do this, right? I was thinking about getting a weighted blanket specifically for the foot of my bed, right? And I was like, that could be also really clever to have. Maybe I should get one. And the thought hadn't crossed my mind before then. So I feel like it's a very specific situation I need it in, because I can function without it the rest of the time I'm awake.
Yeah.
But I need the weight on my feet when I'm sleeping, because that's
cats are great for that too. I know. I have.
You know what's also great? Dogs.
Oh yeah, I love my dogs.
Right? I love your dogs too. They're so fluffy.
What I would wish though about the weighted blanket thing, what I would wish is that it would be marketed for other than autism too, because it is very helpful, like stuff like anxiety.
Yeah, like I've got oh, it's not up here. I think I left it in my bag.
And stuff like that. And I know for a fact that I would love having it, because I have a lot of anxiety both when I go to bed and when I wake up, because mostly I'm alone when I wake up, and it gives me a lot of anxiety, and I would just love to have something to weigh on me to give me that sense of comfort. But I can't get that because I don't, have anything that can grant me that unless I pay a shit ton of money to get that. And I mean like a shit ton.
Yeah.
So I wish they would, market them for other than just autism. I think it's great that they're marketed for that, because I know for a fact that it helps a lot of people with
autism. It's where it originated, I believe.
Yeah, and it also helps a lot of people with ADHD, I know.
Yeah.
So I know for a fact that it's marketed towards, a lot of things, but I just wish it was targeted towards,
You wish it was more freely available.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I've got a fidget cube. It's downstairs. I would show you, but it's downstairs. I
have one of those snake thingies.
You have a snake? Oh, I like the snakes.
No, I have one of those wiggly things.
The wiggly snake. Yeah. Those are cool. I've got a fidget cube and it's downstairs. I'm
actually sitting with it.
It's really useful, and I really like it because it helps when I'm restless.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I sit here, click my fingers, and that can't be good for the joints. Come on. But it's
actually there's made a study that it does absolutely nothing. The gas between your.
Really?
Yeah, that's all it does. There was this guy who made a study for almost all of his life. 5 years? 50 years? Oh, he made. I'm looking at Nico because he knows it. It was a guy who cracked the fingers on one of his hands 50 years, and the other hand and there was no difference.
Oh wow.
Whatsoever. All it does, cracking your fingers, is gas.
Yeah.
bone.
Rixy,
So that's all it does.
you're being an enabler. So,
Sorry, not sorry.
so,
No, Shadow, I am sorry. I was 50 years, not 5 years. Seriously, you're nitpicking now.
but,
Shadow.
so yeah, I've got a fidget cube. That's really cool. I take that with me to class. So, I sit there in lectures. If I'm feeling restless, I can get that out. Because I don't know if you've noticed, I have been spinning my chair very slightly for the entirety of this interview.
Yep.
Right?
I did that too.
So, I
love my snake thingy.
So, I can't sit still in a spinny chair. I'll be honest. I like spinning my chair. So yeah, it's...
Mine is too hard to spin.
Aw.
I can't spin it that much.
So
that
yeah.
actually takes effort, and I don't want that.
But I will say things...
It takes effort to spin it.
I will say on the subject of things that are marketed towards... Things that started out as an autism or ADHD thing and then kind of became more freely available. And I'm pretty sure might all feel it's the same here. Fidget spinners.
No, oh god. I was so mad that became like a fad.
Right?
I was so angry because it actually gave me a focus point to look at when I felt like anxious and restless, and it just made me focus on something else than just being anxious and stuff like that. And then I saw all these kids running around like
yeah. Do you
know? I was just like, I wanted to hit their heads like no.
Yeah. Not for you.
They're not for you. Stop it.
Yeah. Do you know what made me angry about that? Because I was at when I was at school, I went through. We had Pokemon cards, we had Yu-Gi-Oh cards, we had Tamagotchis, we had Scoobies, we had Crazy Bones, right? Every single one of those got banned, right? Fidget spinners, which were for kids with ADHD and autism and other things that they needed it for. Right? I was afraid that schools would have to ban fidget spinners because, you know, it became a fad.
Yeah.
That's what made me angry about it, because suddenly these kids that needed them suddenly couldn't use them anymore. That's what made me upset about it. And it was like, why did that have to become a fad?
You know what's bad? The wiggly snake things are becoming... They're becoming the new fad.
Yeah.
And it's making me so angry because that makes me every time... I use just outside the door. That's how annoying my anxiety is, but let's not talk about that right now. I use it every time I go outside the door because I need it.
Yeah.
And I definitely need it for every time I go outside the door.
Yeah.
And when it becomes like this fad, I just seem like a wannabe kid.
Yeah.
And I don't want... I use it because I need it. I don't use it because I think it's fun. I have a lot of other stuff to do that I think is more...
Yeah, like video
standing here
games.
wiggling with a freaking snake-looking thing. Like, I have a lot more stuff that I think that is a lot more... I'm not doing it because I think it's fun and it's, you know, whatever people want to do. I'm doing it because I need it. I admit sometimes when I'm bored it is fun, but I will not say it's not when you're bored and has nothing else to do. It is, you know, a bit entertaining. I will give it that, but that's not the point of them.
No, it isn't. The point is to help yourselves.
The point is to give me another thing to focus on.
Yes.
And that's not what they're used for now, and it drives me insane to the point of being so frustrated that I can't, you know, deal with it anymore. You know why. Abby, you at least do.
I do know why.
You know how it is for me.
I know.
And it's just I think it's it's just why do kids have to ruin everything?
Why do kids have to make things popular?
Can't they just take their own thing and make it take more stuff? Why do they have to take our stuff that is needed? Ugh.
Okay, so Alada's got one more question. When people find out Sam has autism, they tend to invade their space and are so concerned with being helpful, they usually offend her and make her want to get away from them or just upset her. Have you guys been in similar situations, and do you personally find it offensive, and do you try to avoid them or educate them?
I cannot answer this because I don't have autism, so I can't say much.
Okay, I'd like to hear from Shaki.
I was gonna say, for me, like, whenever I mentioned it, like, when I was in school, to, like, some of the people I talked to at the time, like, at first, they were like, oh, well, what is it about? Like, they were asking about it, like, what they could do, like, what would I need from them? And, like, we could just talk like we normally do and stuff like that. Like, it was awkward and everything, but, I don't think it was anything like people were trying to be offensive, or they had like my best interest at heart, but it's just like being a little kid, you just don't really think about that stuff too much. I tend being the way of my brain I was like, I don't like being in public. It was unsettling to me because I tended to like being alone, and all of a sudden people who realized I suddenly had autism were like, oh, hey, that guy's he's kind of different from us, because I'm pretty sure I was like one of the only kids in my school who had it or was open about it, and people would try to like talk to me about it, and it was really off-putting, but it did get better, as I said, when I was getting older. That's my side. It's I do try to avoid it for the most part, I would say. Lauren?
Yeah, I'd say I avoid it too. Like, the only person I can think of recently that really, you know, invades personal space is that little shit from work. So even though I tell him, he still says that, so I'll try educating him, maybe. I'll see if that works. But generally, I try to avoid. You can't avoid a colleague sometimes, you know, because you have to work with them. But yeah, I think I try to avoid as much as I can. So yeah, have we got any more questions from anyone? Try to set up this giveaway.
I would say, like, try to educate people, then evade them. Because the education always goes further than evasion in any given way. Because they can, you know, for all you know, they can just not know. Or they can be ignorant little shits, but, you know.
Definitely. If we don't have any more questions,